So we're going to be doing a full hive expansion today, thanks to all the generous donators to Ryan's GoFundMe account. Ryan's already got the smoker going, and the smoke helps cover the pheromone that the bees use to spread to say, hey, we're being attacked. And you can actually see them all flying around. And as you can tell, he's now smoking his hands because that will make them kind of stay away from that also. You're going to want the hive tool, dude.
Yeah.
So we've got a bucket of tools over here. And if you notice the blowtorch, we use that to actually get the smoker going. And it's basically a sharp tool that he uses to pry it open because the bees will actually create wax. So he has the top off now, and as you can see, the part closest to us is the bee feeder. It basically holds a gallon of sugar syrup that the bees use to feed themselves when they're in the dearth, which essentially means that there's not a whole lot of pollen and stuff around for them to create honey. And you normally want to start with one of those.
Okay.
So this is covered with bees, and Ryan's not 100% confident, so you might see him jerk a little bit, but I don't see why anybody wouldn't. Currently he's in a full bee suit. I'm in shorts, a t-shirt, and I have one glove on so I can run the camera because, you know, a fingerprint won't go through there. So he's loosened it up and he's pulling it out. Oh, and I also have a full veil on. So he's removed. I would set it on the ground, maybe next to the, there you go, that's good. And as you can see, there are quite a few bees inside. Why don't you go ahead and pull the center frame when you get an opportunity after you smoke them again. And I actually have a bee right here on the back of my leg. I'm curious if he's going to sting me. We're good. I just kind of shook them off. And they're getting angry. Well, they're not angry, but they're running away from the smoke because they think that there's a fire. So actually what will happen is what I've read online is that they'll actually start taking honey inside their mouth and flying away in case they need food for a little bit because they think the hive's burning down.
Okay.
I would start with the center one because that's going to be the busiest. Actually, the one closest to you looks pretty well populated. I can see the comb. Looks really good. So he's separating it. Remember, you start from the other side and kind of pull it up, I thought. And let's take a look. Got a few bees. Not a whole lot. You want to do a quick inspection? All right. Got a lot of honey up top, but not a lot of brood. And we actually need to get some brood over to the other side. And when I say the other side, I mean the other hive, because the other hive isn't doing as well. So now he's going to remove the top brood box. That's where the queen lays larvae and they store honey. Okay, he's popping it off. And if you want, Ryan, just set that. I've actually created a spot for you over here on the picnic table. So he's using the hive tool to kind of separate it because, again, they create wax and it makes everything stick. You want to give it a little smoke? Again, we're just putting smoke in there to kind of prevent them from communicating danger. because otherwise all of them will sting. Whoa, one's following me. So we're down to the first brood box, which has a ton of bees. In fact, you can see a whole lot of them here. What I would do right now, Ryan, is I would actually pop the top off of yellow and get it ready for putting a frame of brood in there. Essentially what we're doing is we're taking some of the brood, the larva, and bringing them over to this one, which is not nearly as busy. So we want to add more bees to this hive, because come wintertime, they're going to rely on numbers in order to keep warm. So he's taking the top off. And you'll see this one is not nearly as busy. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and take out the one of the empty frames and add a frame of brood in here to kind of strengthen this hive. Because if they don't have enough bees in here during the winter time, then it's not going to be a good thing for them. Oh, we're running out of smoke. It looks like it's time to possibly make some more. And as you can see, these guys are just crawling around like nothing's wrong. So we just added more dry grass to the smoker, which will help create smoke. Do you have your hive tool? Oh. Yeah, you're going to want the hive tool. Nope, we're not going to set this on top because it could catch fire. So he's going to pop this thing open. And the more gentle he is, the less angry the bees will be. All right, so he's gonna lift this lid off, and he's gonna find an empty frame where there's not a lot of action going on. We're gonna swap them out. Possibly. That's what it looks like anyway. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. It's basically empty on this side. Oh, actually that's a good one. Maybe the one next to it? No, don't smoke those.
Oh no, these...
Are they all doing well?
Yeah, they're building in over here.
Okay, well maybe we don't need to swap out one. Okay, cool. Well, if you want to look for the queen in purple, that'd be cool. So he's going to go ahead. Let me see. Can you show me this this frame? See, so if you notice all the yellow, that's all going to be brood. That's larva, and it's really cool that the queen's building up there. So since we've determined that yellow is actually doing much better, because we recently put a frame of brood over there, and that has really helped boost their population. Right now he's pouring a mixture of sugar and water, and it's 1 pound of sugar to 1 pint of water, so it's extremely thick, full of sucrose, and the bees use that to help get their hive started. And that black box he's pouring it into will hold a gallon of juice. Now, if you notice, over here, there's a lot of dead bees, so I'm going to go up to the house and get a spoon and scoop those out. And I'll refill that. So Ryan's got the smoker going again, and he's going to now put the brood box back on top at an angle, so he doesn't crush any bees that are on the edges. Ooh, they flew away. Cool. All right, now he's going to gently turn it sideways. I think he got one bee. Yeah, one of them died. Oh well, it's circle of life, right? And he's gonna kind of straighten them up. Cool. Now what he's gonna do is he's going to grab the hive tool and create spots for the new frames, because essentially we're going to actually fill this one up with frames and move the food source up to the top. He just simply puts in the hive tool, gives it a twist, which pops the any conjoining wax together. You can use the brush, yeah. Use those as push tools. Well, I wouldn't brush them. I'd use the end of the handle to kind of push on one side and use the hive tool to push on the other side. Or just push all together, that's fine. Whoopsie, I heard a crunch. All right, cool. Now he's gonna grab a new frame, which is, oh, are these the short ones? No, they're the tall ones. Cool. So I will actually stick this in for him. So a fresh frame is coming in. All right. Fresh frame is in there. Then he's going to put 2 frames next to it where it's got existing bees and honey. There you go. And he's going to slide that one next to that.
Then put in a new one? Or?
No, push a second one. All right, now he's going to grab the other frame, which we brought out here, and he'll just simply pop that one in there. Gently so he doesn't crush any bees, because the more bees we have, the better the world is. Cool. Now we've got this thing called a queen excluder, and this is the reason for this. He's going to put another box on top. Nope, queen excluder. What are you doing? Okay, so this metal frame is a grid that will let worker bees up there, but not the queen. The queen has a larger thorax and can't fit between those bars. And the reason why we're doing this is because the worker bees will continue to put honey up top, but the queen can't get up there to put larvae in. So therefore we end up with clean honey that we can have. Okay, so I'm pretty positive I just got stung, but anyway, you probably won't see that because I'll edit it out. So at this point, he is going to add the honey super, which is where we keep our honey. However, we're not going to touch that honey because they're going to need that in order to get through the winter time.
Okay, this should be good.
I'm agreeing. All right, so now he's going to grab the honey super, which is actually a smaller box, and it's done that way on purpose because that box, when it's full of honey, will actually weigh about 40 pounds. So we don't want a big box up there because it's more difficult to manage. So now that's on top, so the worker bees can get through.
So we need the shim?
Yes, and then we're going to shim it. And Ryan is adding a shim to it, which if you look, there's a little notch in it right about there, which will allow the bees to get through a lot easier than through the queen excluder.
And the next box.
And then he's going to put an empty brood box up top, and that will allow him to put the bee feeder back in. So it has almost doubled in size just in the past few minutes. So now he's going to grab the bee feeder, and he's going to place that up top. Gently. Okay. All right. What's that?
You want me to fill it?
Yep. He's going to fill that up, and now the bees will have food.
You just get started. Okay, so when we get back in the house, do you want a bee suit?
No, it's fine.
I mean,
Okay, topped off. So he's smoking the entrance of the hive because he needs to put a block of wood in there to shrink the entranceway. So use that to push it in place. So So it goes in like that and just slides right in, and it's just going to give a little tap. There we go. Cool.
Yep.
We just expanded a hive. Thank you for everybody for watching, and thank you for everybody who donated.